Welcome to the Sketchy podcast. Before we start, we have an announcement. We have a stand-up show on April 4th at 9:30 p.m. at Flappers Comedy Club in Burbank, California. Get your tickets in the description below. We hope to see you guys there. It's going to be a fun time. Now let's jump right in. Unfortunately, Matthew wasn't able to make it, but don't worry, we have a very special guest filling in for him today. He's been on the pod before. A lot of you guys know him. Some of you guys hate him. Ladies and gentlemen, the President, Donald J. Trump. How we doing, buddy?
Namaste, everyone. It's me, your president, Donald J. Trump.
Right. Okay. You said you had an announcement, and I'm suspecting it has to do with this robe.
Yes.
What is going on?
Actually, I think I should reintroduce myself because my new name given to me by my guru is Ajahn Swami Shri Bhagavan Ram Vivekananda.
Well, that was a mouthful.
But you could just call me Trump. It's okay. It's hard for Westerners to pronounce and understand.
Yeah,
but the name has great significance. It does.
Right. I'm sure it does. Yeah, I don't know what that is, or that was a very strange name. So, what are you? And are you a Buddhist yogi? And how are?
I'm a Buddhist monk. However, I don't like to identify with any particular religion necessarily because they all are significant. They're all paths to God, really, at the end of the day. However, I've also been very deeply involved in Hinduism too. Advaita Vedanta, all the different gurus and teachers have been my teacher. Life is the ultimate teacher, though. The ultimate guru is life. Yes.
Right. That's interesting. Yeah, I do a little meditating myself, and I've read some of these. I've done some yogi stuff. I've done some Buddhist stuff. So, you said you're kind of doing a bunch of it. What are some of the practices that you deploy, and how do you see it affecting you in a positive way?
They affect me in very positive ways. You see, one thing I practice is mindfulness meditation. So I'll be watching my breath throughout my day and trying to live as consciously as I can instead of just flying off the handle, acting however I want, saying nasty remarks. I would say nasty things to reporters like, "Quiet, piggy."
Right, remember that one.
Yes, but now what happens is I'll be mindfully watching myself, and then I feel a reporter will ask me some dumb ass question that's so dumb. They're really dumb, Justus. They really test my patience, I have to say. It makes me want to strangle them and slap them in the face. It really does. But a fat reporter, by the way, will try to ask me a stupid question, and I'll feel the urge within myself to want to snap back and call him a piggy.
Right.
But then what happens is I can see the thought arise in my head, and I can feel the feeling in my body, and I say, "What is that?" And I label it, and I go, "Oh, there's anger is arising." Are you following?
Right, yeah.
I say anger is arising, and then now what I do is I respond differently. Now I have the ability to respond with loving kindness. So instead of saying, "Quiet, piggy," I say, "Can you please be quiet? Can you please quiet down, actually? And also, I mean this respectfully, you might want to stop eating so many Twinkies." And when I say that, I mean that in a loving way. I'm trying to help her.
Right.
I'm trying to say, hey, because a friend is someone who's honest. Right. I like when my friends are honest with me. I don't like when people lie, so I want to tell her the truth, and I want to tell her, like, hey, instead of calling her a piggy, I say you're getting a little bit, you should stop eating so many Twinkies. And then she leaves that. She goes, "Well, thank you, Donald. Thank you, Mr. Trump, for helping me not be so overweight anymore."
Interesting. So you're saying you're a little bit more mindful before you just lash out and say things, but it sounds like you're still insulting in a way, but I guess just less, which is still good for you, I guess.
We need to say the truth. As long as we're saying it with good intention and we're saying it in a timely manner. The Buddha says that there's different ways of speaking, timely and untimely.
Okay.
Truthful and untruthful.
Right.
Kind or brash.
Okay.
Words said with loving kindness or words said with ill will and hatred. And if I'm saying it in a loving way, the Dalai Lama says everything really comes down to intention.
Right.
It really does.
Yeah.
So, if my intention is to help her lose weight, as I would tell a friend, to stop to stop eating so much. It's in their best benefit to do it.
Right.
So as long as it's coming from that place, it's fine to tell her to stop eating the Twinkie.
Right.
Calling her a piggy on the other end is a little mean. That's a little not nice.
It's a little too much. Yeah, it's a little far.
It's a bad deal.
Are there any other examples and practices that you deploy that you've seen work as your presidency continues?
Yeah, well, in life, I see that I learned the 3 marks of existence: impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and non-self.
Right. Yeah.
So I saw that, no matter how many, presidencies that I win, it's impermanent at the end of the day.
Right. 'Cause you're a
unless
big
I
win
run
guy.
for another term, but eventually I'm going to die anyway. So
do you think you would have responded differently after you lost your second term? I know you were like, you lashed out and said it was rigged and all this stuff. Like, do you think you would have handled that a little bit differently?
I absolutely would have handled it differently, yeah.
Yeah. In what way?
I would have wished if Kamala would have won, I would have. Oh, the first time.
When Biden beat you.
Oh, to Biden? Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because you were saying some pretty harsh things after you lost,
I did.
Yeah, so you would have been okay with it.
I would have said loving kindness to Joe. I really would have.
Yeah, because you were insulting the shit out of him.
Yeah.
I mean, even during the debate, you were laughing.
But that's life. Life is unset. Life has gain and loss.
Right.
It has the yin and yang. Mm-hmm. There's good and there's bad, and that part of it was the loss. And instead of fighting against the loss, I would, we got, as human beings, we get a bad deal with life.
That's true.
Where it ends in sickness, old age, and death, as the Buddha would say.
Yeah.
Gautama, Siddhartha Gautama was his real name, back in India.
Right.
And he discovered that. He saw the 3 marks of existence: a sick man, an old man, and a dying man. And he said, no, Siddhartha said, that's a bad deal. I got a bad deal with life.
Yeah.
So what do? I need a plan. And you know me, I love plans. I have a plan.
Yeah.
Siddhartha had a plan too. He saw a monk walking. He saw the sick man and the old man and the dying man, the dead man, actually. I think it was a dead man, it was. And then he saw a monk. And he said, who is that man walking there? And his carriage driver, he said, that's a monk, and he's happy because he's renounced the world.
Right.
He knew he got a bad deal with life, so he changed the deal. He said, I'm not negotiating with you anymore. Life, I'm done. I'm renouncing you.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
And I realized I got a bad deal with life.
Right.
So it's time to change that.
Okay. You mentioning these guys, with these weird names, I'm assuming they're yogis or whatnot. Who are some of your favorite practitioners and examples or mentors that you would say that you
Well,
love?
I love the Dalai Lama.
Right.
The Dalai Lama's great. He has a great quote. He says, "You must act with kindness whenever possible. It's always possible." So that's what I've been doing now. I've been acting with kindness. Like, for instance, when CNN or MSNBC, these fake news outlets, whenever they say something wrong, they try to slander my character, I can always respond with loving kindness.
Right.
So Anderson Cooper, instead of hating on Anderson Cooper, I go give him a kiss.
Rob Reiner?
Rob Reiner, I said love to Rob Reiner. That was not a nice tweet that I said about Rob Reiner. No, it was not. It was
Jimmy
not
Kimmel?
nice. Jimmy Kimmel. I send loving kindness to Jimmy Kimmel too.
Okay.
I pray for Jimmy.
You pray for Jimmy?
I say, I sit there and I do a metta meditation for him, which is loving kindness. And I say, may you be happy, Jimmy. May you be free from suffering, Jimmy. May your jokes be funny, even though they're not. You need all the help you can in the world to make those jokes funnier. So, I have compassion for him. I have compassion for Jimmy. Because think about it. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about the pain and suffering that other people go through, and I think a lot about Jimmy and how it must be very sad for him to be such a shit comedian, horrible comedian. He's terrible at his job. His ratings on his show are plummeting. They're lower than they've ever been. I didn't even need to cancel him, really. He was canceling himself with how bad the jokes were.
Okay. I feel like, it's an attempt of trying to be a little bit more loving, I guess. I feel like you're still kind of insulting him a little bit, but it's progress. I'll give you that. It's definitely progress that you're making, and it seems
It's
like
a gradual path.
Yeah, it's a
the
yeah
path of the Dharma.
for sure. And
Should I name some other teachers that I
Yeah,
like?
go ahead. I want to hear everything. You know, have you
Well,
traveled to India? Where have you learned?
I love Sri Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. He's a great teacher, one of the great Indian saints of our time. He wore a little loincloth. He was a little Indian man, didn't have much, lived in a temple somewhere in India. And he would do a self-inquiry meditation. He would say, "Who am I?" He would have you ask the question, "Who am I?"
Right.
Over and over and over again.
Uh-huh.
I believe he had some students, disciples. You could call them a Namalai Swami. He's another great one.
Right.
Thoughts would come up in his mind, and he would say, "Not mine, not my problem, not mine."
Right. And you use that practice as well? You have problems arise
Absolutely.
and you're like, that's not mine.
I say it's not mine. You know, it's like these other countries when they try and get us to solve their problems. And I'm trying to put America first. I say, not our problem, not our problem. Unless it's Iran or Venezuela or any of the other countries that we are getting involved with, then it is our problem. Yeah.
Right. Well, you said you were talking about
like Mexico, actually.
Yeah.
Sorry, not to cut you off.
No, go for it. This is
But
yours.
it's a lot like, the thoughts would come up in his mind and he would go, "Not me, not mine, not my problem."
Yeah.
That's kind of how I was dealing with the immigrants. I would say, not ours, not our problem.
So you're right. Okay.
I said I relate to these teachings.
Yeah.
This is how I handle the illegals.
Right.
Another great teacher that I love is Nim Karoli Baba.
Nikaroli Baba.
Nim Karoli Baba, also known as Maharaji. It was Ramdas's guru. Ramdas was a man who came here, or he was born here, was a Harvard professor actually. And then he went off to India and met his guru and came back here and brought the Dharma to the West.
Yeah, I think I've heard of him before. He's one
I
of the
didn't even
bigger-
tell you how I got involved in this, by the way.
So how did you get here and do whatever it is that you're doing now spiritually?
Well, when I was here last time on the podcast, do you remember that I told you Elon Musk gave me some ketamine?
Right, yes, I do remember that.
So after the ketamine trip, it kind of started this domino effect where I started getting involved in like much more drugs and psychedelics, and I took some mushrooms, I did, and and LSD, and I was like, wow, I started merging into the universe and seeing that there's more to life than what I'm experiencing, and I was, I kept getting high. I would get high and high and higher, and then, but I couldn't stay high, and I was like, why? So I learned about Eastern meditation, and I was like, this is kind of similar to what I'm doing with these LSD trips. So I went to India, I went to Tibet, I went to Thailand, and even China. They have a lot of meditation in China. And I started learning these meditation techniques, and well, now I'm a monk. That's basically it. I fell in love with them.
Wow.
I really did. I did.
Wow. Okay, well,
I love foreign things, like foreign women. I also love my foreign meditation practices.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you were always saying that America's the best at everything. Are you still on that with, the Eastern kind of spiritual stuff? Do you think?
Well, it's funny you ask. What I noticed is when I went to the East, I joined a monastery in Thailand.
Really?
Yeah, I did. It was called Wat Papang. It was Ajahn Chah's monastery, the Thai forest tradition. And I joined the monastery, and I was it's funny, they have a lot of little brown men over there, a lot of little Asian men, little Chinese men, Japanese men, Thai men, ladyboys.
Right.
Because the monasteries in Thailand, lots of ladyboys.
I would assume, yeah.
You have monks and ladyboys.
Yeah.
You don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
And I show up in the meditation hall, and I have to say I was the best meditator there, really.
You were the best meditator.
I'm an American meditator, yeah. I was one of the only American meditators there, and I soared past the competition. I was like a B-52 stealth bomber, made in America, by the way. I just flew by all of them. They couldn't even see what was coming. They were like, Donald, how are you such a good meditator? How are you the best meditator? Most people, they take forever to meditate and become as enlightened as you are, and for you it's only taken a short amount of time, Donald. And I said I don't know. I don't know how I'm so good at this, but I was easily the best one in the meditation hall, so you could say.
Right. That's interesting, because I feel like usually it's not really a competition thing, and it's kind of like, you go at your own pace and you kind of learn gradually, but you're saying that you were the fastest meditator and the fastest person to be enlightened. So that's That's interesting. I've never heard that before with
Oh
spirituality.
yeah, they were electing there was a process where they were electing the new Ajahn or leader
Right.
of the monastery. And
They won.
I ran and I won.
You won. You're the leader of the monastery in Thailand.
Yes.
So you're almost
I'm
like.
a teacher now. I'm a great revered teacher, I suppose, is what they call me. They
So
call
are you
me,
kind of like a yogi
They
Buddhist?
call me Venerable Trump. It's an honorable name, I suppose. They seem to respect me a lot over there. A lot of they respect me here too.
Right.
So it's,
So you're giving advice to people.
oh yes, I'm a spiritual counselor. I suppose you could say a meditation teacher too. At some point during the podcast, if you'd like to do a guided meditation, I can guide you.
Sure. I mean, this is your forum right now. If you want to do something. What is?
Well, you can keep asking me questions if you want, or it depends if we have things that you want to talk about.
No, let's get into this meditation. What is your favorite? Like, give me an example of something you do in the morning to meditate that you would do.
Okay, so first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is I read about all the crazy things happening in the world, like this war with Iran, and I want to push the button to
Right.
make it go boom. But before I do, I sit down and I say, let me meditate. So I watch my in breath and out breath, and then I see that that's actually just a thought.
Right.
Really, there's just a thought in my mind to make it go boom. But I don't have to identify with it. It's not my thought. It's not me, not mine.
Right.
Like an illegal, not me, not mine, an illegal immigrant, America first, Trump first, not the thought first. These thoughts are not mine. They're coming in illegally into my head.
Right.
These thoughts are a lot like the illegal immigrants. So I have ice, which is my mindfulness. My mindfulness energy, it comes to it and it says, no, you need to go back to where you're from, back to your own country, wherever you're from, I don't care. Because you're causing a lot of trouble here. And then the thought to make the other countries go boom with a drone strike, I let it go, it goes away. Then I replace it, I say, maybe I will send them a love bomb of loving kindness.
Okay.
And I think of the Ayatollah of Iran and I say, may you be happy, may you be free from suffering. I love you, Ayatollah. I love you.
This is what you do.
I think of the little rocket man in North Korea and I say, wow, I love you, little rocket man. May you have a love rocket blast off in your heart and it explodes with kindness and peace. May peace be with you. Namaste, little rocket man, if you're watching this. I know his people are.
Probably, yeah.
They watch everything.
Yeah, even though they don't have internet over there, so I don't know if they
Oh, right. They're probably not watching this, actually.
Yeah.
Good
They
point.
might not
good
even,
point.
yeah, they might not get your love and kindness bombs being dropped over there, So that's what you do in the morning. You meditate on loving kindness and you watch your thoughts and you send it out.
I said loving kindness. So this metta practice, loving kindness, traditionally it's that where you start with a person you love. So what I'll also do is I'll start with a person I love. So I'll send loving kindness to someone like JD Vance.
Right.
I'll say, I love you, JD. I'll picture myself hugging JD. I'll picture myself merging with JD, becoming one with JD. Then I switch to a neutral person. In this case, it could be a neutral country. So basically someone I don't really think about, someone I don't care about, like Denmark.
Right.
No one really cares about that country. I don't know what they are. Where even are they? They're somewhere in Europe. Who knows? Who cares, really, right?
Yeah.
How often do you think of Denmark?
Not until you just brought it up.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
No one really cares.
That makes sense. Okay.
So I think of the Denmarkians and I say, may you all be happy, even though no one gives a shit about you. May you be free from suffering, even though no one ever thinks about you. I don't even know what you are.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And then I think of someone that I don't like. Then you move on to a person that you hate. Like my opponents, any of my opponents, because I hate my opponents. And then the one who I think of that comes to mind now is Nancy Pelosi. So I think of Nancy Pelosi and I say, I love you, Nancy Pelosi. May you be happy, Nancy Pelosi. Even though you're ruining this country, you're crooked. You're always coming after me, saying outlandish things. And your stock portfolio. Come on, Nancy. How are you beating Warren Buffett and you're beating the market? That's not really that possible statistically. I think there's some insider trading going on and we may be persecuting you.
Oh, okay.
I may need to come after you, Nancy.
But you're not because you're loving her now.
Exactly.
Got
I say,
it.
despite all that, I love you, Nancy. I hope you're well, Nancy, even though you're a snake.
And the same goes for Iran, like you said earlier. You're loving them now.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So you're stopping the war? Is it like you guys are in negotiations?
We're negotiating. That's why I decided. I said we need to stop the fighting. We need to negotiate. I took a vow not to kill. I don't even kill a fly
Anymore? Okay. Yeah, because you were just dropping bombs on
But
these motherfuckers.
I didn't kill them. The drones killed them. It's not
drones.
like I actually was going over there, so that's how I kind of get away with that.
Yeah, they accused you of dropping the bombs on the school too with the children. That's how do you forgive yourself for that? If that did happen, I don't know if it did, but that they've been on the news. Are you forgiving of that? If you
Well, the
did?
thing is, there's not really. If you meditate, you can see that there's not really a self.
Right.
So if you think about it, like, who am I even to forgive if I don't even exist, really?
So okay, so you don't feel bad about some of the bad things that you've done now that you've seen that you are not your thoughts and
I'm not myself.
your actions.
I'm not myself.
Right.
I'm not Donald Trump. I'm loving awareness. So who am I gonna get mad at?
Right. So you've forgiven
My
yourself.
ego is a mental construction, really. So
Yeah.
it's a mental construction of thoughts and feelings. It's like a flame, really. You know, like I'm not the one making my heart beat, and I'm not choosing what thoughts I have. You know, thoughts pop up. Like, what thought? Do you know what you're going to think next? No, but you can't know.
I guess you're right.
You
yeah,
can't know what you're going to think next. If you watch your thoughts, you will see that.
Yes. So okay. So you forgive yourself. Interesting. I feel like most people would beat themselves up for the things you've done.
Well, you know, the thing is also, too, that's also what led to my awakening, is my problems and past experiences.
Right.
You see, there's a great Zen monk, the great Zen monk Thich Nhat Hanh. He's a Vietnamese monk.
Right. I think I've heard of him. Yeah.
Yes,
He's good.
yes,
He's good.
which is interesting because America was at war with Vietnam. Now I'm quoting their monks.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And Thich Nhat Hanh, he's a little man with a big heart, little Asian man. He said he wrote a book called No Mud, No Lotus, and he
Right.
talks about how, you know, a lotus flower, it needs mud to grow.
Right.
So all the carnage and killing and schools blowing up and people dying, it was really just the mud that I needed for my lotus flower to blossom into a Buddha.
Right. So you're a lotus flower now.
Absolutely, every bomb I dropped was one step closer to becoming a Buddha, which is what they call me in Thailand, I suppose. They say, Donald J. Trump,
That's one way
you're
to
a
look.
Buddha
Yeah.
now.
That's
You're
one
a
way to
Buddha.
look at it.
The
I
way
guess.
you meditate, you're enlightened. You're
so
the
all
best.
all my bad karma is actually good. In a
if
way.
you turn it into good, it depends. You have the choice of what you want to make with it, you know.
Right.
So I can either be sad and hate myself for blowing up a bunch of things and all the blood and carnage, or I could say, you know what, I'm gonna turn this into a positive and never, ever, ever do that again.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
No, that does make a lot
It
of
could
sense.
be fuel for awakening.
Yeah.
I can take regret and turn it into gratitude, that I can even see the thing that I regret in the first place and say, Donald, that was bad, Donald. But in a way that was good, Donald, because now I can change.
Right.
So really, I always win, even when I lose.
So you're still a winner at the end of the day.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
I'm a winner, yeah.
Right.
Even if they try and rig it. Even if the thoughts try and rig it and say, look, he lost, Donald's a loser, I'm actually not.
Because you're not your thoughts.
Absolutely, I'm not at that.
That makes a lot of sense. That actually makes a lot of sense. It seems like you really have a lot of knowledge on this stuff. You really have traveled the world. You went to India. You went to China. You went to. Have you heard of Stoicism? I'm really into Stoics. Do you practice any of that stuff? Stoicism? It's not really, I guess, Eastern philosophy, but I'm really into that stuff.
I love Stoicism. They're quite similar, actually.
Yeah.
The main premise of Stoicism, for those of you who are watching who don't know, is well, I'll talk about the history first. It was invented by a man named Zeno of Citium, and what happened was he was carrying a ship. He was driving a ship. He would fish for mollusks, and he would scrape the purple dye that came from seashells, and he would collect purple dye to dye royal robes with. It was a very expensive, very, very good business. He got a lot of good deals with that. But Zeno crashed his ship. He got a bad deal with the ocean that day. Lost everything, became homeless, became a beggar. Then he came across a man who was a good man, a strong man mentally, and he said, who's that man? And he said he's a great philosopher. So he studied with him, Zeno did, he did, and then he invented Stoicism, which is basically the premise of it is that you cannot control the things outside of yourself, so let them go, and focus on character ethic and being a virtuous person. Not how much money you have, not how much power you have, but being a virtuous person, really. And Marcus Aurelius, one of the last great Roman emperors.
I love him. Yeah, he's one of my
brilliant.
favorites.
He wrote a book called Meditations, one of my favorite books, and he goes through his story of how Stoicism helped him be a great leader, and that's what I aspire to be too, is like a Marcus Aurelius. I really do.
Yeah, that's amazing, because I feel like you were like literally the antithesis. Is that the right word? Antithesis of a Stoic prior to this. I feel like you were
absolutely.
You were a power-hungry egomaniac.
Yeah, I was all about my name. I wanted to plaster my name on all of the buildings and whatnot.
Yeah, like you wanted the fame,
the glory, the fame, the power. Although I will say it's ironic because there's a great monk named Maha Ghosananda who would lead peace marches in Cambodia when they were having the killing fields in Cambodia. They killed a lot of people there. It wasn't good. And he would walk and he would chant the ancient Buddhist phrase. He would say, hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love alone is healed.
Wow.
He would say love is more powerful than hate. Yeah. And I become so loving I don't hate anymore.
Yeah.
So in a way, I'm kind of more powerful than I've ever been, ironically. Not that I'm doing this for that, but I'm powerful. I'm more powerful than ever actually now. Okay. Even though I've renounced power,
right?
I have more power than you.
Because of the love that you
Because I love more than you.
Yeah. Okay.
I love you unconditionally.
It's almost like, in a way, it's almost like you're having an ego trip with the spirituality, in a way. Or am I picking that up wrong? No. No. Okay. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't want to judge you. I'm judging him right now. If anything, I'm not showing much love right now. But it sounds like you're having a lot of spiritual awakenings. Now, I have another question. Let's talk about sex. I know that's really big in spirituality of renouncing, the sexual urge. Are you still partaking in that? Are you, Melania, still,
I've renounced sex.
You've renounced sex?
I have, yes.
How?
I don't have it anymore, that's all. I told Melania, I said when I became a monk, I said I can't have sex with you anymore. So I just don't have sex with her anymore. I haven't had sex in a long time, Justus.
Really?
Yeah, long time.
Because you were a big sex guy.
I was a horn dog. I really was. Now, I used to grab women by the pussy. I used to grab Melania by the pussy. I don't do that anymore. I let go of her pussy. Because that's what the Buddha teaches. He teaches letting go. So before I was clinging to her pussy, I would cling to it. I would cling to the pussy. Now I let go of the pussy.
Right.
I'm free from the pussy.
Okay. So you used to be attached to the pussy, and now you're releasing the pussy.
Yes.
Wow. That is amazing. That's
I was
incredible.
grabbing Melania, and when I became a monk, I let her go. I said, "You're free now," and I'm free too.
You let the pussy free, and now you feel better. Is what you're saying.
I feel much better. I feel better than...
You don't have the sexual urge.
I do, but when it arises, I catch it, I love it, I allow it to be, and I watch it as an arising and passing phenomenon. You see, everything that has the nature to arise has the nature to pass away. That's what the Buddha says.
Right.
You don't need to touch it or do anything, fight with it. You can allow it, accept it like a friend.
Right.
Kind of like, I accept lust like a friend. Like Dana White, for example.
Right.
I treat lust like Dana White. Whenever I get the urge to bust a nut, I treat it like Dana. I say, wow, hello.
You think of Dana White before you're about to...
I think of Dana White when I'm about to bust a nut and then I no longer want to anymore.
Interesting. That's interesting. That's a very interesting thing you do there. So you don't masturbate either? You're not jerking off? No porn?
No, it would break my monastic vows.
Right.
I took a vow. I don't cheat, I don't kill, I don't steal. Even though everyone's...
Well, let's get into stealing, because a lot of people think that you're manipulating the markets, which in a way is kind of like stealing from the American people with, their finances and stuff. Are you still a big money guy? I know
I'm giving away all my money.
You're giving away your money?
Oh, yeah.
To who?
The illegals.
To the illegals?
Yes, and little African boys.
The illegals and little African boys.
And girls too. Little African boys and girls.
Okay.
Just Africans in general.
Wow.
And illegals.
So you're giving your money away to the illegals and the little
Yeah, I'm
African
giving
and
it all away because money causes suffering at the end of the day. You know, like more money, more problems, like they say. The
Yeah.
Buddha said that too. The
Yeah.
Buddha said more money, more problems back in the day. Essentially, he
So
said...
the rappers almost took it from them.
Absolutely. That was a Buddhist quote.
Wow. Yeah. So
He took it.
So you're giving away your money to illegals and little African boys.
Right. And as far as stealing goes, everyone says, oh, you're stealing Greenland. They're going to give it to us, so I'm not going to steal it.
You're just going to, oh, they're giving it to you now.
We're going to cut a good deal with them where they give it to us, so I don't have to take it.
Right. Okay. I don't know what that means exactly, but that sounds like you're onto something good. At least it's a little bit better than taken. You know, you took from Venezuela, but that was probably a good thing, right? You know, that was for the good, so it wasn't necessarily like you did it out of ego, I would assume. You said you're giving your money to the illegals and little African boys. So does that mean you're allowing the illegals in now? Is that what you're doing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm letting them in because what I realized is, like, so I did... I do non-dual meditation practices where I observe that I am actually not myself. So if I'm nothing, it's like the great Indian guru Nisargadatta Maharaj says in his book, I Am That. He says, which is the Sanskrit terminology, the Sanskrit way of saying that is Tattvam Asi.
Okay.
Okay, so
I don't know what that is, but
he
okay.
says, I am that. What he means by that is, oh wait, let me backpedal a second. He says, I am nothing. I know wisdom tells me I am nothing, but then I know at the same time that because I'm nothing, I'm everything.
Right.
Does that make sense? If
No,
you're
that
nothing,
does.
you're everything. It's kind of like a paradox, you know.
So
But
you're
if
the
you're
ma-
nothing, that means that you're everything.
So you're the illegals.
I am an illegal.
You're an illegal.
That's what I'm saying. Because I'm not Trump, I'm nothing.
Right.
This is all fake. It's all fake news. I'm fake news. Does that make sense? I'm an illegal.
Right. Right.
Because I'm one with everyone. So if I'm deporting an illegal, I'm really just deporting myself.
That makes sense.
The Ayatollah they just elected, the new one's son, they say he's gay. I guess that means I'm a gay Ayatollah then, essentially. Allahu Akbar.
Wow.
Let me suck some cock.
All right. Let me suck some cock. So you're okay with gays now that you have had this look?
I am a gay guy, basically, because I'm one with everything. I'm everyone. I'm gay, I'm Muslim, I'm even a Jew.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. So you really have opened yourself up to everything, including cock. Nice.
Including
Including
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
nice. So the legals are in, you're the illegals, you're okay with the gays. Nice. Are there any books that you recommend to our listeners out here?
Absolutely. I think
some of your favorite books.
I
Go.
think Paths to
Rapid fire.
God, Paths to God by Ram Dass is amazing.
great
Still
book.
Forest Pull by Ajahn Chah, the Thai forest teacher, is amazing. I think let's see what else here. We have No Mud No Lotus. I mentioned that one earlier. That's a fantastic one. I think
You said Meditations by Marcus
Meditations
Aurelius.
by
Yeah.
Marcus Aurelius. Karma by Sadhguru is a very, very good book. I love that book. He talks about how intention is everything. You know, what's my intention coming on this podcast? It's to be a good
To spread love and kindness.
Loving Kindness, by the way. Loving Kindness by Sharon Salzberg is another amazing book.
Have you read The Untethered Soul?
I love The Untethered Soul by Michael J. Singer. That book was big for
It's a
me.
good one. It's a good one. I read that one.
It was a big book.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I got a good deal with that book.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. Okay, wow.
I got it used.
You got a used book.
And it was an amazing read. It really was. It really was. Let's see. I really like Peace in Every Step by Thich Nhat Hanh is a great one. I love A Heroic Heart by Jetson Tenzin Palmo. That's another great one. Let's see here. What else is there? Food for the Heart by Ajahn Chah is good. Cutting Through Spiritual Materialism by Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche is another great one. I love Chogyam.
Yeah.
The Wise Heart by Jack Kornfield is amazing.
Have you ever heard of Paramahansa Yogananda?
I love Paramahansa Yogananda.
Yeah.
I love his little booklet, Living Victoriously. You learn how to live a victorious life through Paramahansa Yogananda. You do, you really do.
Have you been to his spot up in Santa?
I have. They have a self-realization fellowship organization where they actually have Gandhi's ashes. It's a place. It's the Lake Shrine the
Where's it
Paramahansa
at? It's in by the beach, right?
It's in Malibu.
Malibu, yeah.
Yes,
yeah. I think I've been there. It's great. He used to live there, right? And walk the grounds.
He did. He lived on a houseboat while they were building it, and you could still see it to this day. On Saturdays, it's open to the public, I believe.
Wow. So you go? You've been there before?
I've been a few times. I get some mala beads and I sing the mantras.
What kind of mantras do you sing?
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. 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 That's a great mantra.
Wow.
It really is.
Wow, that's incredible. I feel like I'm feeling the enlightened energy coming my way right
Absolutely,
now.
yes.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
I need to check that place out.
Do you want to do a guided meditation?
I thought we did one before.
I can do a different one though.
Okay,
That wasn't really. I just kind of told you my process.
Okay.
I didn't do a guided meditation.
Give me a quick
with you.
meditation that you do.
Okay, here's a Donald Trump guided meditation. So I want you to close your eyes, Justus.
Okay.
Close your Latino eyes. There you go.
All right.
There you go. Show us that beautiful Latino skin over those eyelids, or eyelid skin, whatever. Okay, now I want you to picture something that makes you very happy, something beautiful like a burrito or a taco, maybe a car full of all of your relatives packed inside heading for the border. Now I want you to focus on that image, Justus. I want you to think about your Latino relatives and how much you love each and every one of the 50 of them packed into the small yet packable minivan as you're all driving towards the border for a better life. Now inhale. And imagine the smell of a pinto bean. And now exhale. And imagine coming out of your nose is the pure, crisp smell of cilantro that you're about to put on top of a empanada. Okay? Now, there's going to be a lot of thoughts coming into your mind. I want you to look at them, each one of them, okay? And look at them like an illegal. And I want you to say, you're not allowed here. You have to go back where you came from now. Bye-bye, illegal. See you later, illegal thought. And then every time a thought comes, just come back to your breath. Focus on your breath first. Kind of like America first, but you focus on your breath first, okay? Now, the thoughts are going to keep coming because they keep breeding. Kind of like an illegal. There's just an infinite slew of them coming in and they're trying to break through your border. Keep coming back to your breath. Say America first, the breath first. I'm done with these illegal thoughts. I really am. Okay? Now keep concentrating, and at some point you're going to be so deeply concentrated on the breath. You say, breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, exhale. There you go, there you go. Now I want you to think of someone you don't like an ICE agent perhaps, or maybe the Venezuelan dictator, okay? A Latino man, by the way, I will say. Latino on Latino crime. And think about how you don't like him, and think about something positive, like how Big Daddy Donald J. Trump removed him for you. And then you can focus on the gratitude of that, and you say, thank you, Donald, thank you. And now you can open your eyes, coming into the world as a more peaceful Latino man, one that probably wouldn't want to rape our women and steal our jobs. Maybe you'd want to come here and give someone a job. Maybe give someone a woman of some sort. Pre-meditation, you were probably feeling like you wanted to come over here, sell us drugs, and rape our women, and now you're probably feeling like you don't want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
After you deport all your thoughts. That's what I do.
That's what you just did is what you do, right? Okay. That's, yeah. I can see how that would work for you, for sure. Because I'm feeling very just at peace with everything and enlightened, you know? So that's what he's doing. I mean, it's got to work. I mean, I feel like it's a little odd way of doing it, but I think it's working for you, for sure. That's amazing. That's incredible. I'm going to try that out. Why do you, okay, I want to ask you something, and maybe this can you can kind of just leave the audience with something positive here. because we've had a great discussion here today. Why do you think people should meditate and have a spiritual practice? Why?
Well, I think without it, really, you're just kind of walking around. Most people are like little robots. They're like little AI robots, and they just get told what to do. But we need regulation on the robots. You know, we can't just have the robots walking around doing everything without any guardrails. So, you know, you want to take control of your thoughts and take control of your mind and body. You know, people like, you know, someone will say something to piss you off and you just immediately lash out, you react badly.
Which is what you used to do, yeah.
Which is what I used to do. I don't do it anymore. But now, you know, like with meditation, it gives you the power to respond differently and live more consciously. You get to see the nature of existence and reality more clearly. You see not everything is about you, you know. Not everything is quite as it seems. You get to inquire into the nature of your mind. Have you ever looked at the nature of your thoughts and said, who's thinking these thoughts? Have you? I didn't.
Yeah.
I looked at my thoughts and I saw that I am not the thinker of my thoughts. I looked at my thoughts and I saw that they're coming from nowhere and they're arising in the infinite, open, expansive space of my awareness. An awareness that cannot be pinpointed, an awareness that has really no form, yet is also conscious at the same time. To allow the thoughts to arise like an open sky with clouds flying through, in and out, back and forth across the open expanse of your sky. To experience the freedom of that, the freedom from self that Siddhartha Gautama Buddha describes in his Satipatthana Sutras, is a jewel. The Dharma is a jewel of life, really.
Right.
The most important thing, it's more important than money, fame, power, because these things are going to fade away into the distance. How can they provide lasting happiness if they're all impermanent? Everything that you cherish and love, we have a chant in the Theravadan Buddhist order that we say everything that is that we love and everything that is dear to us, and everyone is going to end up leaving me and dying. Now you may think that sounds morbid,
right?
But really, it's just working with life as it is. It's working with reality, and that's what Buddhism does so well. You know, we confront the realities of life, that it ends in sickness, old age, and death.
Right.
And we look at that and we say, how do we respond now? What is the appropriate response? How do we consciously respond to the pain and suffering in our world? Right. And the Buddha says, you know, there's the Four Noble Truths. The first noble truth is suffering. Life is suffering.
Right.
It's impermanent, unsatisfactory, and unself. As much as I want to keep all the illegals out, they keep coming. It's impermanent. I can't permanently keep everybody out of the country, you know?
Right, yeah.
And then the second noble truth is the cause of suffering, clinging. Clinging to it. I'm clinging to wanting these illegals out. I want them out. I'm clinging to it. I can't stop
to the pussy.
Clinging to pussy.
Right.
The third noble truth, the end of suffering, which is relinquishing of clinging. Letting them go. Let the illegals in. Who cares? So what?
Right.
Let the pussy be. Stop clinging to it. Stop grabbing the pussy.
Right.
And then, of course, the fourth noble truth is the Eightfold Noble Path that Gautama Buddha laid out for us. It's a path to freedom.
Wow. That's beautiful.
And you know, they say America's home of the land of the free, home of the brave.
Yeah, that is true. Okay. Well, that's freaking great. I think the audience is going to get a kick of this new Trump. I feel like this new Trump could potentially run for a third term if this is what we're dealing with. I think you're bringing peace and prosperity and love to all situations now, which is fantastic.
You can't be asleep. You have to live consciously.
Yeah.
You know, like Sleepy Joe, he was asleep. Hello, wake up. Everybody is asleep in a dream state of their own thoughts. It's time to wake up, unlike Sleepy Joe.
Right, so he was asleep literally and figuratively.
He was literally and figuratively and like in a spiritual sense asleep.
That's incredible. I feel like you really have transformed, I hope, And I think people are going to get a kick of this new Donald, an enlightened Donald, a loving Donald. I sure have, and I think you're on a great path, and I think you need to keep doing what you're doing, because I think a lot of people are going to love this version of you. I sure as hell am loving what's going on here. But it was a pleasure having you on the pod again, and if you have any more announcements and big things you want to get off of your chest, this is the pod to do it.
I love coming to this podcast. It's a shame that I miss Matt every time.
Yeah, I mean, he would have loved to hear this version of you. He really would have. I know that for a fact. So, but hopefully he's on next time, and you can share some new news that you have. And I wish you well on your presidency, and I hope to have you back on again, Mr. President.
Thank you. Namaste, Justus.
Namaste.
I hope that you learn to love yourself and be the best version of yourself that you can be for this world.
We can only try.
May you be enlightened for the benefit of all beings everywhere, including the North Koreans.
Love yourself and love the North Koreans. That's what we're going to end on today, guys. We'll see you next week on the Sketchy Pod. Namaste.
Namaste.